Hello everyone, we have five students of this ODCL batch. They are here to share all you want to know about this ODCL, what is it, and how you can apply for it, and who can basically apply for it. Okay, so first we'll start with a brief introduction.
Hello everyone. My name is Nikita Vijay and I'm from Jaipur. I have graduated as a chemical engineer from NIT Nagpur. Post that, I have a work experience of around 3 years in Reliance Industries Limited. And then after that, I have joined Tata Institute of Social Sciences in its MA ODCL course.
My name is Khatib Haider. So I have also graduated as a electronics and telecommunication engineer from Mumbai University. Later, I embarked my journey with Tata Consultancy Services as a system engineer for 4 years. Then I worked in my family business for 3 years. And post that, I am here in this ODCL program.
Hi everyone, my name is Jino Katuparampil. I was born in Kerala and brought up in Mumbai. I did my graduation in BSc Microbiology and Biochemistry from St. Xavier's, Mumbai, post which I transitioned into the role as an assistant manager in talent management and development, where I worked with Mahindra Home Finance for around 2.5 years. Again, post which I have joined TISS for my MA ODCL.
My name is Ashutosh. I am currently a student of ODCL, as you all know, and I hail from Panipat city in Haryana. I did my undergrad in hospitality industry from IHM Pusa and worked with hospitality and retail industry for approx of 2 years, where I served to the organizations such as Aditya Birla Group and Shoppers Shop. That's all about myself.
Hi everyone, I'm Vijay Patil. I was brought up in Gujarat and I did my journalism from Delhi. I have worked for almost like 6 years as a journalist and also I have worked as a corporate communication professional. Post that, I decided to join TISS ODCL and this year I converted TISS ODCL.
Okay, so as most of you can hear that they have talked that they belong to different streams. The streams are varied and diverse, and the best side of this ODCL is just 35. And then also there are so many streams. Now the other thing you have heard is the experience. 2 years of experience is must if you wish to apply for this ODCL. Now to know more about what is this ODCL, the full form of ODCL and what is it basically?
ODCL stands for Organization Development, Change and Leadership. So it is offered under the School of Management and Labor Studies at TISS Mumbai. So with an intake of just selective 35 students, it is India's first and only full-time master's program that is dedicated to OD and change and leadership as well. So like Sir mentioned, right, we are shifting from a VUCA to a BANI world today. So organizations are constantly navigating their shifts, whether it's in their market, technology, people, process, or culture. So what this program does is it blends your OD as a subject, your change management, and then we combine it with our behavioral sciences and psychology. And so that makes the learning very practical and practice oriented. So along with your other courses, like your core subjects that you learn in any other IIMs, like your marketing, finance, strategy, analytics, and your other key functions, which this is known for, which is your HR functions. This is a course which combines all of them together. So how it helps us is that we learn to look at organizations not just from a departmental view, but from an organizational view. Like we get a complete systems view. So that helps us in our processes as we go ahead. So like Sir again said, right? You look at organization from a systemic view, and then you try to diagnose the issues which is beneath the surface. And then you design the change management interventions that you want to bring around, and then you work directly with the organization. So the course offers you around 4 fieldwork, one summer internship, a human interaction lab, simulations. So all of this together, along with one full OD consulting project that we do with an organization, it helps us to, actually come up with solutions and try to understand real world problems that they're facing. So I think the course, makes it very practice oriented in that sense. The basic requirement for the course is to have students with an eligibility of 2 years of work ex. That's a bare minimum requirement. So students already come with the work ex part. You've seen how organizations function. So that kind of helps us in a way as a batch in terms of our discussions that we have and in terms of placements as well. So even when you sit for placements, organizations want to understand that the kind of candidates that they have, right? Are they trainable? are they someone that if we onboard them, can they really pick up things fast enough? Because today things are changing very quick. So can we do that? So that is something that ODCL students bring in with their work experience part. So if I look at the final placements part here, our highest CTC is written, our median, which is 20, has been constant across, the past 2 to 3 years. We have consulting, IT, manufacturing, e-commerce, and automobile as an industry where our industry-wise placements that it speaks for. Along with that, the work experience of the batch. So an average of 42 months is something that we see here. And that again helps the batch because everybody comes with a different work experience. Everybody comes with so much diversity. So that kind of, enables in the terms of discussions that we bring into the table. So that again, even when we are trying to look out to, get placed into a particular industry because of a work ex and the industry that we come in, it always aids into it. The course highlight clearly speaks around 4 field internships that I mentioned earlier as well, one summer internship, an OD consulting project where we try to work with an organization in terms of understanding what their issues is. Human interaction lab is again one key specific factor that stands out only for the ODCL cohort. It is a reflective experience where we as a cohort come together under the experience of selective facilitation leaders and we discuss around it. It's something that we keep it as an experiential learning and it is something that you need to experience once you come into the batch and that is something I leave as an a suspense for you guys.
Yeah.
Again, minimum of 2 years of work experience and the most important factor which is research dissertation. So in your 2 years of course, how do we stand apart from our different IIMs or from other B schools, right? You have your 4 field internships, your summer internships, but apart from that fact, that we try to take up a key issue that may be revolving in the industry and then try to bring up an entire research dissertation and then in one of our field work that will be towards your fourth field work we'll also go to the industry and try to get data points for it. So this is how we validate it and that is how we stand out as a batch.
So the next question is, how is it different from regular MBA? Nikita, you can take this.
Yeah, sure, sir. So, firstly, I would reiterate one point that has already been mentioned by Gino, that it is the only full-time 2 years master's program in India to teach this subject of organizational development, change, and leadership. And for me, this MA ODCL is different because the learning is absolutely hands-on. Again, this has been already talked about at length by Gino. So when I say this, I want to emphasize on mainly on two things. So first, that stands out the most is its fieldwork. After every semester, we actually go into the organizations and do projects with them. So this is something very unique to TISS, and it helps us to see how individuals, how groups, and how organizations work in real life and not just in theory. Particularly, we have this LAS, which is Leadership as a Service project, which is a project with NGOs, which gives us a real consulting experience from problem diagnosis to solution. And these field visits make a big difference because you learn by observing, by interacting, and by experiencing things directly. So it connects classroom learnings with real situations. And second thing I would like to highlight is this human interaction lab, which is again a multi-day experience-based workshop unique to our course and designed to develop self-awareness and interpersonal skills. So for me, ODCL is different because it's practical, people focused, and deeply reflective. And the fieldwork we do after every semester is a big reason why the program feels so much meaningful and different from other MBAs.
How it is different from HRM? Because in the syllabus of HRM course, OD is also there.
About organization development and human resource management. So people outside, from the outside view, it seems that both are the same and they are the synonyms. But in reality, when you actually do the OD, it's very different from an insider perspective, from an organization perspective when you are actually practicing them. So HR basically is all about managing the people, recruiting the right talent, and mostly dealing with the employee cycle, and it helps the organization in smooth running on its day-to-day basis. But when you talk about the organization development, that stands for OD, it actually look at the organization as a whole system. Instead of just focusing on one particular individual or employee, OD focuses on how the entire structure of the organization can be improved. Now, talking about the structure, it doesn't implies that the physical structure, it includes the culture, the teamwork, the leadership style, and the processes, and also the organization design, how the organization is designed. So these all things are included in an organization development. And for this, we take help of the fields like behavior scientists, science, and we have very data driven decisions over there, and we act as a facilitators in an organization to make the organization more effective and to help them reach their mission and vision statement. So as far as my understanding, and I have comprehended the difference between this, one is more related to the present and one is the another, that is OD. It's the long term version and it prepares the organization for the future. So that's basically the major difference.
Okay, so having known the difference between HRM and OD now is the time to know how to get into the course. Number first, before that is we already know that 2 years of experience is required. That is number one. Number two, you will have to appear for a exam called CAT, and you will have to get some minimum marks in that, which Patil will talk about.
So the aspirants who are interested in TISS ODCL, once they have appeared for the CAT exam, TISS opens the window for no application for the people who are interested, and the last day for applying for TISS ODCL is 10th of December. So the aspirants who are interested, they can apply. They can still apply. We have ample of time. And now talking about the selection process in detail, we have two stages. One is the shortlisting the candidates, and another is the PI round. For shortlisting the candidates, as I mentioned earlier, 95% of the CAT score is considered, and 5% of extra weightage is given for gender diversity, where females and transgenders receive 5 additional marks. Once they are shortlisted, they have to appear for the PI round, and after the PI round, the final merit list is prepared. So the final merit list is prepared with 70-30 ratio, where 70% of your CAT score is considered and 30% of PI score is considered. So while CAT is a primary eliminator, I would like to say that PI plays a very crucial role in determining the final rank. And there, I would say Pratik sir's expertise comes in, because last year I remember how Pratik sir guided me for the interview, and due to which I was able to convert that. So basically, this is the selection criteria. One thing I would like to add is last year it was 70-20-10, where 10% weightage was given for the academic scores. However, for this year, it's purely your CAT score and PI score, 70-30 ratio.
How one should prepare for PI? What you studied, from where you studied, and how it went. You can share that experience.
Sure, sir. So to start with, I think the PI preparation starts with the first and foremost, that is DAF, which stands for Detailed Application Form. Therein,
Mhm.
some basic questions like why you want to join TISS, why ODCL, and like a brief introduction about yourself. All that has to be written. So I think I started writing. So when you have to prepare your DAF, you really have to reflect a lot on how your journey has been. So that was the first and foremost part of my pre-I preparation. And then apart from that, I think with your guidance, I got to know more about what is organizational development, because at that time we were reading some of the books that were recommended by the institution. But again, then from the understanding point of view, I think your classes have helped us a lot to understand what is organizational development, how is it more relevant in today's world, what is change management, and everything about that. So I think pretty much that was what my experience was for online interviews and how my preparation was there.
So, could you compare the mock interviews you had, and the real interview you had? What were the questions in the real interviews, and how it helped the mock ones?
Sure, sir. So in real interviews, so I think more or less what we prepared, what you asked us in the mock interviews, they were similar to what was asked in the real interviews. Questions around mainly around our backgrounds, the kind of the job that we were in. Then again, why ODCL, why TISS? Some questions were really well prepared in the classes itself that you were conducting with us. So the questions were similar to what we had in mock interviews.
Like Nikita clearly mentioned, I think it all begins with the preparation and the support that we had from your end. It all begins with your DAF. So for DAF to write that detailed assessment form, to fill that in, you need to have a clear understanding as in yourself, as in what you want to do from this course, why you want to be a part of it. As we mentioned, right, it's a selective 35 seats. Why should people from all over India, when they're applying, the numbers are so large, how do they select the best ones? So it's about the clarity that you bring into the picture. Why do you want to be part of this course? Where do you see yourself actually after doing this course? In terms of how do you align yourself towards this? So this entire clarity is something that you need to have, and that will come in once you start filling in the DAF form. And I think for that, the best support that we have is Pratik sir. I think that was there, number one. Number two, in terms of PI preparation, your current affairs is something that you need to be well aware with. We were also preparing for JD because we felt at that time we may have JD and extempore for which Pratiksa was preparing us. So I think that kind of helps in, because anyway you will be preparing for GD, so you have to touch upon your basic terms, your basic business affairs, current affairs, all those things. One key experience that I can remember in my interview process was that the interviewer asked me, which is one of the books that you read. There are 5 books that are recommended by the institution, which is available on the website as well. I mentioned one of them. Then the next question that they had in follow-up was, so do you remember using self as an identity was mentioned in that book? So they wanted to understand that did we really read the book? And thankfully, even though we could not read much in detail, because of sir's support and the gist that we had through, I was able to answer that. Terms like psychological safety, these are key terms that comes up in your preparation when you specifically prepare for OD. And I think so will help you along those lines. And I think those are the terms that really stood out. And at the end of the day, your background and how genuine you are as a candidate, that reflects in the interviews. Because let me put it very simply, it's not like your typical interviews where they ask you a question, you answer, and you move out. They really want to understand. If it's just a 5-minute interview, it does not matter. But what you speak, the clarity that you have, the depth that you have is something that they'll for sure assess. And you cannot, just say anything and get out of it. They will for sure check. And I think for overall, just do your preparation, and then sir will surely guide you. And I think that's the best way I think you
Yeah.
can move around with this.
For my interview preparation, as we were discussing much about OD, it's what about self and all. So I think the course starts your preparation with the DAF itself. Like you need to know very much about yourself, your background, what are the motivations for you to join this particular course. And those are the 3 questions that are being asked in DAF. And for that, Pratik sir helped me basically because what exactly are the points for which I am applying? Although I was having some background of change management in my work but to make it more precise and a crystal clear kind of thought, Pratik sir helped a lot, his guidance, and the 5 books that are being mentioned in the this websites as well. So those are basically a core typical OD books which are very difficult to read in the first go, and when I was going through it, it was all going above my head. So the strategy that Pratik sir told, that first follow the lectures, understand the basic concept, and then refer to the chapters that Pratik sir says that this part is related to this chapter. That strategy basically worked for me, and through that I was able to actually complete much larger portion of the books that has been recommended. And there were straight questions in the interview coming from that book, like Gino also mentioned, they ask you in the interview, like, out of that 5 books, which is the one that you have referred and the name that you took, they will take that book and ask the questions on that book, topics mentioned in that book. So when I mentioned the book that I read, there was the question straightforward, which Pratik sir has also asked in the mock interviews, and that was the same that was asked in the final interview as well. So that was, I think, my point where I cleared the interview basically. So these are the strategies that you can, and these are the ways in which the preparation with Pratik sir helped me.
So in my opinion, here, if you are preparing for the TISS ODCL interview, it starts with knowing more about yourself, like having the clarity about what you did in your past for the education, for the work ex that you had, and how clear was your mind while doing all those things. And also for this, you have to keep in mind that the professors will go on asking about what you did, how you did, and why you did. So the clarity is the must, and there your role comes into play where you explained us that how we can articulate our answers and how we can purely say that this is the work that we did and this is how it is helping us in our daily life also. Also, reading about the OD books, it is the most important thing that is mentioned on the site as well. That you have to read at least one book or to know the crux of that book and apply it on your life or show that how it is applicable in the life moving forward. So there also your help was very much useful and that helped us to crack the interview.
Talking about the OPI round, as I mentioned earlier, also that PI round is something where your expertise comes in. And I remember for DAF also we had multiple drafts where you actually guided me how to write the DAF. And also for PIs, we had multiple mocks where you guided me that based upon my background, what questions can come. And also I would like to mention here that the AI which you mentioned earlier, appreciative inquiry, that exactly was asked to me in my interviews. And also about the servant leadership you mentioned, they had asked me difference between servant leadership and autocratic leadership. So because it was written or it was given to us in a very simplified language, I was able to answer those questions, and I think that played a very crucial role in my selection.
So you don't have to wait for test to release staff because they will release staff at the end and very soon they will take your OPI. So you won't get enough time to prepare, read all the books and everything. You will have to create a sense of urgency after, you know, after maybe taking a rest of a week or maybe 5 days after CAT. Then from that day only you can be in the preparation mode and write the DAF because the questions are known beforehand. You can't complain that I don't know the question. The sample DAF is present of the past year. It might change slightly, but not drastically. So that questions you can prepare, discuss every bit, every information which you have written because every keyword is important of organization development, change management, and leadership. So it requires a proper preparation, and then only you will understand and you can handle questions better. So, Ashutosh, could you speak about the fee structure and what is self-finance course? What is the meaning of that?
So in comparison to the other B schools here in the TISS ODCL, it provides us with an easy on-pocket fee structure that is approx of 8.5 lakhs for the 2 years of course. And here the fees is deposited on the half yearly basis, approx an installment of 2.1 lakhs. And it is a totally self-financed course where we only have to give all the fees to the institution. And also, there are no hostels provided for the normal students. There are, we can say, basic criteria if the student has to go and opt for a hostel.
Fieldwork internship, I think previously also Gino, Nikita have mentioned about that. One thing which is very unique to TISS is the kind of practical exposure we get in terms of field internships. So we have total 4 fieldwork internship plus 1 summer internships. Every internship, you get a chance to work with an industry mentor, observing the company culture, how exactly the work culture is, the workflow, the people processes. So apart from that, we also have summer internship. So in total, this 5 work internships gives you a lot of different perspectives because you work with different organizations. Talking about my personal experience, recently I completed a fieldwork internship with a leading FMCG company where I had a opportunity to work with learning and development department. So what I learned in classroom, I got the chance to apply in the real world. So that is what makes this course very unique. Because of this multiple field experience, you can connect the classroom theories with the real organization realities and build a well-rounded understanding of how people and systems operate.
As Patil has mentioned, discussed about the fieldwork internships and the summer internships. So first opportunity that we got is to convert these opportunity into our final placement. So because of the exposure that we get, and OD as a field require lots of understanding of the organization, and some candidates who have a very critique eye on the observations of the systems, and then they have to be very analytically and facilitative in their skills. So the organization like to offer the final placement at a time of your internship or at the time of summer internship. So major chunk of the batch gets the opportunity over there. And then the final, before the final begins, we have this. If by some reasons we are still in the final process, so the organization that offers the role in the campus are majorly hovering around the change management and culture building consultant role and the leadership development professionals that they require. So these are the major roles that are offered in the final placement, apart from the internship that we have.
The life at TISS. So, how is the campus and what activities happen there at TISS?
Okay, so to start with, I think my experience at TISS, we have been here for around 5 to 6 months now. So my experience at TISS has been incredibly special because firstly, TISS has always been my dream college since the final year of my graduation. This is the college that I've always targeted. So this is something that I've manifested, worked towards, and finally I've created it for myself. And every day here is more meaningful to me. So like I wake up with a sense of purpose, genuine sense of purpose. How can I improve? Where can I improve? And I think the college provides us a perfect environment for that kind of inner growth. Coming to what kind of activities happen, so like we have our classes and mostly the classes are case studies based, discussion based, wherein we have groups and every group has its unique we often talk about this term group dynamics in OD. So this particular kind of group kind of discussion gives us a platform to understand how individuals and groups can differ, how individuals in a group and individually can differ. So that is something which is part of the college. And also apart from that, you asked about what are the activities that take place. So we have various cultural activities also that are taking place in the campus. For example, we have this alumni meet which is samagam, and which happens usually in the month of February. So I think that, and apart from this, diversity is something that is very unique to TISS. So in my cohort, again, this diversity has helped me grow a lot. Working with people from different backgrounds has made me more empathetic and a better listener. Our group tasks have taught me how one can delegate work and properly and also collaborate smoothly. So these experiences have really improved the way I work with people and has also helped me improve personally.
I'll put it into three specific parts if that helps, because at the end everybody wants, they are looking at, while joining a B school, the placements which have already covered, and what the faculty is, how the course is structured, what kind of cohort I'll be part of. So these are the basic, concerns that students usually have. So in my work experience, I had a manager who came in from TISS. So that's where the story begins with. It's somewhere I wanted to be a part of, something I've, like Nikita mentioned the right word, manifested for it, worked around it. And I think Pratik sir, a big thanks to you, because you've been part of that journey to, help me understand more about this course and be a part of it. So like 6 months into this picture, standing in front of the TISS background, the TISS wall that we have as a background, that's the wall that we all aspire to be in, standing in front of it. I took a picture in front of it and realized that this is something that I aspired, prayed for, and today here I am standing in front of it. The second part, covering about the faculty, right? The faculty have a huge years of industry experience, and they really understand, that we come from a certain background, and how do they help us to understand, function in a way so that whatever we learn in class can be practically applied in the field works, and then that makes this course a complete, like, and wholesome experience. And coming to the third part, which is the cohort, like Sir mentioned, right? There's 35 seats that we talk about. In this, 40% of the students come from premier colleges like your NITs and triple IITs. And we all come from multiple backgrounds. So in our current batch itself, I know people who come from aviation, FMCG, consulting, pharma, it's so different. Like you're talking about a particular topic, somebody must be talking about a people perspective. Whereas on the other hand, somebody will be talking about a completely ground level operations part. An engineer may bring about the technical nuances that I, as a non-engineer, may never be able to think around. So I think all of this together makes you think in ways that you can normally not think around. Like you take up a course, you finish it off. There's just a particular knowledge that transfer that's happening. Whereas when you learn together as a group, there's so much give and take that's happening that I think overall your learning just takes off to a new level. So I think this is a dream that I wanted and I hoped for, and today I am, and it just makes me feel great. And I hope everyone who aspires for it can also end up here.
I would like to first say a very big thank you to Pratik sir, because I remember last year I had attended the same webinar who are now seniors to us, and here I am today in this webinar. So it feels very great, and I'm very grateful to Pratik sir. My experience at this has been enriching. Talking about the campus, it's compact and green. It's unlike the B schools. It's not flashy, but it's very earthy campus. Talking about the students, as everyone has also mentioned, that we have diverse cohort not only in TISS ODCL but in the entire TISS campus. You have the opportunity to interact with different schools. Like we have almost like 45 schools in TISS, so you can interact with everyone. You can interact with them, get some different perspectives that will also help you. And the culture at TISS is very warm, it's supportive, and it's also intellectually stimulating. So I hope the aspirants who are watching this, they can also next year be part of this webinar.
This ODCL will shape your career in better ways, and it is a good course. If you wish, you can apply for it. So, thank you all. Thanks for coming and taking your time to educate the students about the course, what it is, and who all can apply and when to apply.